Alright, now it's time to work on the back of our business card. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the layers, hit a new layer. Let's go ahead and lock that front copy so that we don't grab it. We actually don't even need to be looking at it. So let's just go ahead and hide it by clicking the toggle visibility. And what we're going to do is we're going to want to unlock the background because we want this same background to be on the back background, which is layer 4, which is what we're going to rename back for the back of the business card, background, and hit enter. Okay, so let's go and make sure we're on our front background layer. Let's select our shape here, hit Command C for copy, go to our back background. Let's go ahead and lock this and hide it as well, and hit Command F for paste in place. So as you can see here, this shape is on both of these now. Okay, so now we're going to start by putting in, building the back of our business card, designing it, putting our shapes in, and as well as our information copy, our address, phone number, names, things like that. So let's go ahead and start with our boxes. And let's go ahead and draw a box from our bleed mark all the way over to our other bleed mark. And the width doesn't really matter, or the height doesn't really matter. But this is where we're going to come in and use our Pantone 207 that we talked about in our color blog, and we're just going to go ahead and click it. That goes ahead and changes the color for us. So let's hit V, which is our selection tool, option to bring up our 2 arrows, click and drag down holding shift. We're going to do that a few times. Okay, so we're going to have our name. We're going to have our address, city and zip, phone number, email address. So that looks like the right amount of boxes. So let's go ahead and, I kind of just dragged these down. I didn't make sure the spacing was correct. So this is another great way where the align tool comes in great handy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this one and put it up just a little bit because this is going to be our name one. And let's make it just a little thicker. Alright, that looks good. So let's just go ahead and delete these again and make this the same thickness as that. So let's just go ahead and click that, hit option to bring up our copy tool, and then shift and drag down. And if you don't hit shift, that's fine, you can just drag it, but as you can see you're going to be just a bit off here. But the way you can fix that is by selecting all of them, coming over to your align tool, and align left, and now they're perfectly lined up again. Alright, so let's bring our bottom one back down to our guide, because that's where we want it to end. So let's just go ahead and bring these down. And distribute as well, one more time. Alright, that looks about good for me. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer again, and call it back for back of the business card, copy, for all of our information. So let's go ahead and lock this so that we're not messing with any of these boxes here. Hit our T tool and let's go ahead and type John Dofer. I'm just going to stay consistent with my Univera type, make it Roman, come over here, grab it, and bring it down. But I want it to be white, so I'm going to hit T, click, Command A for select all. Come over here to our fill and make it white. And you can also do that by coming over here to your swatches and just selecting white. Okay, so how do I make sure that this is in the middle of the document? Well, this is another way the align tool is going to be great for you. So let's come over here and click this artboard here, so that means that anything that we're going to be aligning is going to be aligning to the artboard. And just hit center. So now we know that John Dofer is going to be right in the center of everything. Alrighty, so now that we have the name figured out, let's go ahead and type the address, phone number, website, and all that stuff. So I'm going to hit my option tool, click and drag, T, Command A for select all, and repeat these. I want to make it just a little bit smaller than the name so that the name stands out just a little bit more. So I'm going to come over here, select all, and change it to 11 point. Perfect. Okay, so now this looks kind of funny, you know, the name's centered in the middle and these are just kind of put there, no alignment whatsoever. So what I want to do is, you can do it a couple different ways. I'll show you. You can select all of these and just center it in the middle of the document just like your name is, but personally I don't really like centered, everything all centered, so I'm going to right align it here and then I'm going to drag it over to our copy guide. Okay, one other thing that we want to make sure is, how do we know that that is centered in the middle of this red box here? Well, let's unlock our background so that we can play with it. Hit select that and select that as well, and then come over here and just center it. Well, Control Z because we don't want it centered to the artboard, so let's uncheck that and center. Bam. So now we know that that is perfectly centered. So let's hit Command G for grouping it, and let's do the same thing to these. Select them both, center, Command G. Let's group them. That, center, Command G, that, center, Command G. Okay, so now, since we messed with some of the alignment here, these spacings between here aren't quite equal, as you can see. So what we're going to do is, now that these are all grouped, it's not going to mess with the street name at all. It's just going to mess with those as actual groups. So let's select all these and go to our distribute objects and distribute once again. So now everything is spaced perfectly, you know, nothing is wider than the other and nothing is off alignment at all. Everything's spaced perfectly. So now that we have our front and our back ready to go, the reason why we do these layers here is because it's going to help a lot in the exporting. So if you want to see your front, let's go ahead and lock everything so we don't mess with anything. Let's take off these and pull up that. So now we have our front. If we want to see our back, all you gotta do is mess with the visibilities here. So next time, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to export everything properly and get ready to send to the printer. We'll see you next time.